week to Beijing, China. I'm like, I can't
Wow.
afford to not go to China. It's
Wow.
like cheaper to go there than stay here.
That's how I feel about cocaine now. I can't.
It's like I can't turn it down.
I know. When I was in the Marine
That
Corps,
much?
it was like I made $250 a month, and coke was $100 a gram. Now it's like what, like 40? What was it? Nah.
It's cheaper to keep going.
Yeah, it is. You can't afford not to.
One interesting thing in China, when I was there, we took a tour of like Tiananmen Square and the Forbidden City, and we had this tour guide who was maybe 19. So like she wasn't an adult when the stuff in Tiananmen Square went down, right? Because this is 2004,
Sure.
I think, when I was there. And so we asked her, we're like, oh, so is this where all the protests were and everything? And she's like, what are you talking about? She had
there's no record.
No idea. And then there's the big portrait of Mao on the Forbidden City. And she looked and she's like, oh, look, there's the portrait of our great leader. Like, that's a phrase they actually use. They call him our great leader, which I was like, I thought that was just like what we make fun of them for saying. But they actually do it.
I mean, that's how I have my kids refer to me. I don't,
Yeah, I mean, I knew a Chinese actress who was like talking about, one of the most popular people, and the Dalai Lama. Mm-hmm. Of course, in China, he's a guy who betrayed his people because he left when he was young to go to India. So it's like, it just shows that any opinion, there's always somebody that holds the opposite. You know,
well, I don't get why everybody's into the Dalai Lama to begin with, but whatever.
Oh, he seems. You know what? I like that he
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah. I totally am.
He doesn't push.
In fact, that's the name of my album. My special is Hater. So yes,
perfect.
That's what it's called. Yeah, because I'm totally.
Here's a promo.
I don't like anyone.
I know. I heard as I was parking the car. I heard this on the NPR. They were talking to Rand Paul. About the Cuba, lifting the Cuba. Mm-hmm. And he actually is on Obama's side on this thing. That's like...
I think libertarians will be for this kind of thing. They're more about, freedom between countries and,
free markets,
economic free markets, all that kind of stuff. Because I bet you even on immigration, he's probably not a hard-line guy. I don't know about his positions exactly, but I would guess libertarians are probably a little more about the free movement of people and stuff.
But that's an interesting kind of juxtaposition because the other Tea Partiers and Republicans...
they're going nuts.
Oh, their heads exploding. Yeah. So
the only Americans, I think, that should have any objection to this is Elian Gonzalez's family. They're the only ones who have any right to complain. Everyone else should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked
Bringing it back.
I talked to a Cuban-American semi-Republican who was totally overjoyed about it because... she just went through all the trouble to just go visit family last year or 2 years ago, and it was a lot of work. Mm-hmm. Even if you have family, and if you don't have family, it has to be a cultural thing.
And she committed a crime by doing it.
She did not commit a crime.
She went to Cuba, and under current law, that's a crime to do.
Not through certain programs.
Okay. There's certain
all she had to do was fly to Canada, get a separate.
So you got to take a different route.
Visa.
Is that how you do it? Is
she
that how you get around?
Go to Mexico or Canada first.
No, it was 100%.
She had to smuggle Yasiel Puig out.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers thank her for that.
She brought two young baseball players back.
I thought you could just
trade.
basically go with a copy of any Ernest Hemingway novel.
Yeah,
and,
you have to bring a.
You don't
cat,
even need a
you have
plane
to bring
ticket.
a cat with extra paw claws, and then you're good.
Or just an Ernest movie.
Ernest goes to camp. Ernest goes to jail.
Yeah.
Ernest scared straight. Ernest scared stupid. I was a big Ernest fan.
I like how you rattled off about four of them.
Hey, when Jim Varney died, I was really sad.
He's dead?
I feel that.
Yeah, like 8 years ago. I used to like him when he was doing Cerritos Auto Square commercials, which might be before your time in California.
What was his catchphrase? He had a catchphrase, didn't he?
Hey, Jim, it's Ernest. Or, hey, Vern, it's Ernest. Yeah, his neighbor was Vern.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hey, Vern.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, that was a very unusual ad campaign.
What do you mean? Know what I mean? That was it. What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
That was something, right? Or what do you?
I haven't seen the movies in a long time, but I saw them all.
I have never seen.
I have never seen an Ernest movie.
Yeah.
If you're going to start with Ernest Goes to Jail. That's what I recommend.
Okay.
Think of it like the Shawshank Redemption with Ernest.
That's your intro.
That's my entry.
You don't choose the Christmas movie, or you don't choose the
Ernest Goes to Jail is my starter, and then Ernest
or
Scared
the
Stupid.
camp movie seems like it's the most.
How about Ernest Goes to North Korea? That's
now
rewrite.
Here's what I want to know: What is the overlap between people who've seen Ernest Goes to Jail and people who've seen Medea Goes to Jail?
Wow.
What's the?
Because I haven't seen the Medea one.
You haven't? Yeah, I haven't seen. I've not seen any Medea movies.
I want to know what that Venn diagram looks like.
It sounds
a good
like
question.
a Netflix recommendation. You know,
Yeah.
if you like this Go to Jail movie, you're gonna love this Go to Jail movie.
Yeah, if you like Orange Is the New Black, you're gonna love.
I feel
Ernest
like we should
Goes
get
to
Nate
Jail.
Silver working on this right now.
Yes.
Like he's kind of in a lull right now.
Sure.
The last election's already over. What's he got to talk about?
Like baseball's over.
He's
He
already
can't talk
predicted
about
the
that.
Super Bowl, I'm sure.
He did a thing where he projected which teams have a chance to win the Super Bowl over the next 8 seasons. And I'm like, well, so much personnel is going to change between now and then. Like, it's kind of worthless. I'm like, this is what you're wasting your time on. Let's get him on the Ernest and Medea question. That's a very good question.
Yeah.
The Ernest and Medea Show. Hey,
there
welcome,
you go.
y'all.
Well, bless my soul.
Hey, what do you know what I mean? Know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to have some orange juice.
Oh, where's Vern? No questions.
I would watch that show so much. Oh, that'd be great.
Now that's what I want to think about.
Yeah, I'm like, there's got to be a studio executive somewhere we could pitch this to.
And this is why we're not talking about the torture memo.
Yeah.
That came out. You got any thoughts on that?
I've been monopolizing my time. Let me defer to my colleague first.
Dude, it's all. I'm against torture.
Whoa!
Way to take a stand.
Yeah. Whoa!
Highly controversial.
You know what? That's what it seems like.
Actually, you know what? Based on my Facebook feed, that is somewhat controversial.
It
torture.
seems so basic. But I was talking to a friend who's, some conservative family members, and he was talking about he cited on the anti-torture side radical leftist John McCain, and his brother said, "Yeah, I've really lost a lot of respect for John McCain." And it's like.
He lived in a tiger box.
Is there an American that can? I mean, that guy's wrong about a lot that
Yes, this is an issue. He's
can
100%,
we say he can speak out on torture?
Well, there are not many that are pro-torture that served. Right. Almost everybody and anybody who
Dick
served
Cheney
in the
with
military.
his 9 deferrals or something.
Yeah, because you realize if you're on the front line and your ass is on the line, if you get taken prisoner, that shit's going to happen to you, right? If what's good for us is good for them. You can't do it. There's like the Geneva Conventions. There's a reason they exist, right?
It seems so absolutely basic.
Yeah,
that you can't believe you're having a debate.
Yeah,
but you are.
One, the Japanese soldiers who were hung for waterboarding Americans during World War II. That
seems
case closed.
Case closed.
Okay. Yeah. Two. This becomes kind of like a Orwellian debate on language and rhetoric, and enhanced interrogation techniques are the euphemism for torture.
Rectal feeding, wasn't that another one?
Well, and it becomes a nuanced debate about like what you believe is actually torture and what you know what I mean, because that's the nuance of. Because when I debate somebody in, conservatives that I know, it's not that they wouldn't say, dude, of course I'm against pulling out someone's fingernails or shooting someone in the shoulder or whatever, but it's the nuance where they would say, but this isn't torture and that. And at a certain point, I mean, obviously it is torture to drown someone.
I mean, rectal feeding sounds fun almost. Yeah. That's like
that was a South Park episode where they stuck food up their ass.
Yeah, I was thinking about opening like a high-end rectal steakhouse. I thought that would be...
I'm
maybe
just imagining sitting there enjoying a steak while you'd be able to converse as well.
Yeah.
No longer stopped by having to chew food.
Well, and here's the thing. And if you're eating steak, you're not going to digest the whole thing anyway.
Right.
So why not just puree it? Yeah.
Yeah. The Christopher Hitchens was like an example where somebody who was pro a lot of this sort of stuff, but at least he was willing to say
he's pro-torture.
When they said, would you be willing to be waterboarded? He said yes.
Right.
And they waterboarded him. And he lasted about 10 seconds. He dropped the weights and he said, all right, that's torture.
Yeah.
Nobody else is willing to say it's not torture and do it to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Really? Sean Hannity didn't do that?
No, for some reason.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Rick, what was his name? Used to be on CNN.
They're too busy dressing up.
The dude that got tasered?
Yeah. He did it.
Sanchez.
Yeah, Rick Sanchez. He had a thing where he was like, after the taser thing, he was like, this is really working for me. And so, like,
I'll be the taser guy.
The next year, he was like, waterboarding. Oh my God, what a gift! What a gift!
Oh man,
and so
gotta jump on that.
Because now they've all been dressing up in hazmat suits, like spraying stuff around. Like, this is how you can get Ebola. We need to keep these people out of the country, and that was their.
And what happened with Rick when he?
Oh well, I'm trying to think what he did. No, I don't remember. I don't remember how that story ends. Well,
like,
he
did he follow through with it, or?
No, he did. He was waterboarded.
Okay. Oh, he was waterboarded.
He was one of those, like, he was waterboarded for CNN. But he said something weird that Jon Stewart attacked 2 years ago, and then he disappeared off the face of the earth.
He got fired from CNN for other things.
And then Fox News took him on, or vice versa. One of those. Yeah, that was a weird situation.
Yeah, he sort of dropped off the face of the earth, it seems.
There's something about the just tying it back to the interview in Cuba. I just thought it was interesting, like, Cuba, we were trying so many times to, like, assassinate Fidel Castro through exotic means.
Exploding cigars.
Yeah, and so, like, he is the template for this story.
Yeah.
And it just feels like it's really looping back around, having both these Cuba stories,
Yeah.
And also, like, the NSA excesses. I think the movie should get out there. I really support the creative effort, and I think you can make fun of anything. Like the dictator movie that Chaplin made is absolutely incredible about Hitler. So I really support them going for it. But it's concerning to me is, like, the idea that it's so commonplace that we accept that we just go around killing people without the rule of law. Like, that's the scary part, is that, like, I mean, obviously Seth Rogen, like, it's a good premise, and, like, I'm not attacking the premise at all. Like, I think it should be seen. But I think it's just scary that we're just all so comfortable with, like, yeah, that's just what the CIA does. We just go kill people. And the drone strikes are, like, the biggest literalization of that. And that's, like, what's really antithetical to Obama's, initial message. His initial true message was he was going to, and I still, support Obama, but it's right to criticize the leaders because that's your job.
Yeah.
But, like, he wanted to change the perception of America to the world. And in some ways, the drone strikes make it harder,
Definitely harder. And I don't understand that at all. And it's going to come back. I mean, we're not going to be the only holders of that technology, right? Northrop, hell, on my Facebook feed, or when I'm on the Google or whatever, I get Northrop Grumman ads on my, how you get the customized things on your. So whatever I'm doing on the internet,
you
I'm
have your
getting,
own drones.
Yeah, I could, I guess, if I get on the right program. But that's going to bite us in the ass big time.
All of these things, like we talk about, we're trying to end terrorism, and it's a war on terror. When all of these things we're doing are just making more terrorists.
Yeah.
Like, the way you stop terrorism is by treating people with respect and letting them run their countries the way they're going to run their country, and stopping your regime change and stop doing all these crazy things. And then they don't have this death to America idea because we're not over there ruining their life. The people of Iraq used to have a decent life under Saddam Hussein. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't great for everyone, but women could go to college, people could drive their cars down the street, and now it's a total freaking mess. And we did that.
Yeah. And I mean, certainly that's not going to go over in the boardroom with Northrop Grumman or Boeing or the guys who really control our national policy, because that's the message, is invest in aerospace and defense. And it's a little easier to, when you see a wedding party blown up in Pakistan, you can feel bad for a second, then you go and you check your stocks.
We did that.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, hey, look at that. Yeah.
You know what's scary? Just for the interview thing, what's scary? It's not that they didn't release the interview. Okay, that's messed up. What's really truly scary is that when they tried to put Team America, World Police, as a replacement in the movie theaters, what's truly chilling is that they pulled back Team America, and so what that is doing, retroactive censorship. And that shows you the true leverage that's going on here. And so, like, that should really, I think that's that just happened today.
Yeah.
But, like, that's what's truly fucked up about the situation is it's starting to get way bigger than just the interview. And that's what people say about the concessions with negotiating with terrorists. And you don't want to, give them incentive to continue doing this. Dude, it's because, and that's the irony. You mentioned the Olympus has fallen, and like there's all these movies, so many. Like, okay, this Saturday, I'm really hopeful that Bobby Moynihan will be Kim Jong Un on SNL. And like I think there's a new episode this weekend.
Okay,
but like you know what I mean. Like hopefully, and I don't see why they wouldn't because they've already done it. Yeah. Hopefully, they're going to stand